Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. This is IMAX Sports with another football video, and today I'm talking about each NFL team's chance of making the playoffs. This is not an opinion-based percentage video. In the past, the videos that I've made have been opinion-based percentages based off of their schedule, where I think that they'll finish. And because if you're going 5 or 6 weeks out, you can't actually calculate percent chances of winning. That being said, what I did for this video was I looked at the ESPN projected percentages, which, granted, aren't always accurate, but I used that as my baseline. And using those rough estimates, I made projections on what percentage each team had of making the playoffs based off of a statistical analysis and tiebreakers, and what would actually need to happen in order for each team to make the playoffs. And so basically, I used the statistics of the games to figure out what actual physical percent chance each team had, not opinion-based, but based off of expert analysis and a statistical analysis of those experts. So, for example, starting off, we have the Ravens. The Ravens have a 3% chance to make the postseason. They have a 60% chance, according to ESPN, to win their game against the Steelers. I personally think that the Ravens will win, so I don't necessarily disagree with that. I think it's probably somewhere in the 50s, but we'll go with the ESPN projection of 60. In order for them to make the playoffs after that, they need to have the Raiders lose to the Chargers. Because they have a tiebreaker over the Chargers, they do not have a tiebreaker over the Raiders, who beat them earlier in the season. They also need the Colts to lose, because the Colts are a game ahead of them. So the Colts only have a 20% chance of losing, and the Raiders only have a 40% chance of winning. So you take the Ravens' 60% chance, and then you factor in the Chargers' chance of winning, and then you factor in the Colts' chance of losing, and that's how you get to 3%. And that's how I did most of these projections. The Ravens are currently projected for the 9 seed at a record of 9-8 because they are projected to win. And that gives them about a 3% chance of making the postseason. As for we move on to the Steelers, who have an 8% chance. They're the projected 10 seed, but that's because they have an extra half a game or an extra quarter of a game on the Ravens with the tie. They're projected to lose, so they're projected to finish 8-1. Ravens are projected to finish at 9-8, but the Steelers need less in order to make the postseason. Since either the Raiders or the Chargers is going to lose, the Steelers just need to win, and you need the Colts to lose. It doesn't matter if the Raiders or the Chargers win because the Steelers have that extra tie in there. At 40%, we have the Saints, record prediction of 9-8, 40% chance to make the postseason, and a projected 7th seed. They are projected to win, and the Niners are projected to lose. So they are currently the projected 7th seed, but the Niners have a better chance of making the playoffs based off of the fact that the Niners just need to win. The Saints not only need the Niners to lose, but they need to win themselves. And so that hurts their chance, their physical percent chance of making the playoffs, because they need 2 factors to happen. So although the Saints are more likely to win than the Niners are to win, this extra added hit on the Saints is that they also need the Niners to lose. And so the Niners, although the Saints are the projected 7th seed right now, the Niners have a better chance of making the playoffs. At 52%, we have the Raiders, and we actually have 3 teams who are projected to make the playoffs for only 2 spots. The Niners' record prediction is 9-8. They're the projected 8th seed with a 52% chance at making the playoffs. They need to win against the Chargers. That is how they make the playoffs. And there is another way that they can also make the playoffs, because they do have tiebreakers over the Ravens, and I believe they have tiebreakers over the Colts. So if the Colts end up losing their game, and the Raiders lose, and the Ravens beat the Steelers, then the Raiders do still make the playoffs, because they have tiebreakers over the Ravens, and they have tiebreakers over the Colts. And the Steelers would be 1 tie behind the Raiders. The Chargers have a 58% chance with a record prediction of 10-7. 58% chance at the postseason, projected 7 seed. They are projected to win over the Raiders. So the Raiders are projected at 9-8, and the Chargers are projected at 10-7. But that's the only way they can make the playoffs. So although the Chargers have a 58% chance and the Raiders have a 52% chance, the Chargers are projected to win the game, and that 58% is the percentage that the Chargers have to win. If the Chargers lose, they're out. They don't have tiebreakers over anyone. They lost to the Ravens. They didn't play the Colts, but their tiebreakers are terrible. The Raiders' tiebreakers are very strong. 49ers have a 60% chance of making the playoffs. Again, they are the projected 8th seed because they are projected to lose this week to the Rams. But again, because they do need the Saints to also win in order to miss the playoffs, their mathematical projection is higher than the Saints. At 79%, we have the Colts, and this rounds out the teams that have not yet clinched a playoff berth. The Colts are projected to go 10-7, winning this week, and their only way to make the playoffs is to win. Now, they do have a 79% chance of winning. They're playing the Jaguars, but their tiebreakers are bad. Either the Chargers or the Raiders, whoever wins that game will be a game ahead of them. They have tiebreakers that hurt them against the Ravens. And so because either the Chargers or Raiders will win that game, and because the Steelers have that half a point where the Colts would finish 9-8 and the Steelers would finish 9-7-1, the Ravens having that tiebreaker over them means that whoever wins the Chargers-Raiders game will have an extra game on them, and whoever wins the Steelers-Ravens game will have a tiebreaker over them, or the Steelers tie will beat them. So because of that, if the Colts lose, they're out. Because the Steelers or the Ravens need to win, and the Chargers or the Raiders need to win. Because those two teams both play each other, that makes it impossible for the Colts to make the playoffs if they do lose. First team at 100% chance to make the playoffs with the Philadelphia Eagles. They're projected at 9-8 and projected 6th seed. They're a projected 6th seed because the projection is that the 49ers, who are currently the 6th seed, lose. And so because the Eagles and the Saints are in the playoffs, then the Eagles and Saints are the ones, the Eagles get the tiebreaker over the Saints. If the 49ers do win, then the Eagles would be the 7th seed and the 49ers would be the 6th seed. The Patriots are projected to be the 5th seed in the AFC at 11-6. They have clinched the playoffs because even if they lose, they're still in the playoffs. They have a 5% chance of winning the division because Buffalo has over a 90% chance of winning this game. So considering the Buffalo has a 91% chance of beating the Jets, the chance of the Patriots winning the division is not only that chance, but also you have to factor in the possibility of the Patriots losing. So there's multiple ways in which Buffalo can win the division, and the Patriots would both need to win and for Buffalo to lose in order to win it. They also do have a less than 1% chance at the first round bye, technically. Because of their tiebreakers in the AFC, they would need Kansas City to lose to the Broncos. They would need the Bengals to lose to the Browns. They would need the Bills to lose to the Jets. And they would need the Titans to lose to the Texans. And if all four of those things happen, then the Patriots would win the number 1 seed in the AFC at 11-6 because they do have insane AFC tiebreakers currently. I don't think that will happen. I don't think any of that would happen, but they do currently have the possibility, far less than 1% chance of getting the 1 seed. At 100% chance, also, we have the Cardinals, who have clinched the playoffs. They have not clinched the division. That is incorrect. They have a very slim chance. I believe they have a 22% chance of winning the division. I apologize for this. They have a 22% chance of winning the division. They have not clinched their division. And they do have a 0% chance at the first round bye because they are 2 games behind the Packers. But they are the projected 5 seed in the NFC. But if the Rams lose to the Niners, then they would be bumped up. They would win their division. But they only have a 22% chance of winning the division because the Rams are projected to win their game. And the Cardinals are projected to win their game, but since the Rams have such a high chance of winning, then they would need the Rams to lose, and then they would need to win themselves. Buffalo also 100% clinch the playoffs, 95% chance of the division, 4% chance at the bye, slightly higher than the Patriots. They would also need the Bengals and the Chiefs and the Titans to all lose this week. The Dallas Cowboys are one of the only teams that literally has nowhere to go. There's nothing that can be changed this week. They're 12-5. They've clinched the playoffs. They've clinched the division. They have a 0% chance in a bye, and they're the projected 4 seed. If they win and Tampa or the Rams lose, if Tampa loses, then they get the 3 seed. If the Rams lose, I don't know who wins that tiebreaker. But either way, Dallas and the Patriots are going nowhere. There's no chance that either of those teams move. And Buffalo's not really going anywhere either. Unless the Bengals lose to the Browns, which is possible. Tampa, record prediction 13-4 because they are projected to win this week. They've clinched the playoffs, they've clinched the division, and they have a 0% chance at a first-round bye. If the Packers lose, then they have indefinite tiebreakers over the Buccaneers because they have 2 games on them in the NFC. And even if the Packers lose this week, they would still have tiebreakers over the Buccaneers. The Bengals have a 5% chance at a bye week, projected 3 seed. And the difference between the Bengals' chance at the bye week and the Bills' chance at the bye week is the fact that if the Bengals and Bills both lose, then the Bengals... if the Bengals and Bills both win, then the Bengals win the tiebreaker. So even if the Chiefs and the Titans lose, even though the Bills have a better chance at winning their game than the Bengals do, because the Bengals have tiebreakers over the Bills, they technically have a slightly better chance at making the postseed, at making the 1 seed, because even if Tennessee and Kansas City both lose, they don't need the Bills to lose. The Bills need the Bengals to lose. The Bengals don't need the Bills to lose. Next, we have the Rams at 13-4. They have clinched the playoffs. They have a 78% chance at winning the division. As I said, the Cardinals have a 22% chance. I apologize for the mistake earlier. And there's a 13% chance that the Rams get the bye. This is the only other team in the NFC that can get the bye week. They have the projected 2 seed, and they would need to win their game, and they would need the Packers to lose to the Lions. Now, Aaron Rodgers did go on the Peyton and Eli show. So, since Aaron Rodgers went on the Peyton and Eli show, obviously there's a 100% chance that the Packers lose this week. And that gives the Rams actually about a 60% chance of winning the bye week, because if there's a 100% chance that the Packers lose, then the Rams obviously have a 60% chance of winning their game, so they will be the number 1 seed in the NFC. If Aaron Rodgers did not go on the Peyton and Eli show last night, they would clearly be the number 1 seed, but because they did go on the Peyton and Eli show, he will be losing to the Lions. The Chiefs have clinched the playoffs, they have clinched their division, and they have a 16% chance at the bye week. Tennessee is playing the Texans, so that makes up the majority of it. And then there's also a chance that Kansas City loses, so even if Tennessee does lose and Kansas City loses, Tennessee still has the tiebreakers. But majority of it is the fact that Tennessee is most likely going to win their game. Tennessee clinched playoffs, clinched division, 75% chance at the bye week, because the Chiefs have 15, and then there's 10 between the other teams. Patriots are less than 1. They're the projected 1 seed, and they should be able to beat the Texans. And at 100%, also we have the Green Bay Packers, who have clinched the playoffs, clinched the division, projected 1 seed, 87% chance to get the bye week. Because although the Titans have the AFC is, there's more chances for other teams to get in. There's only 2 teams in the NFC that can get the bye week. And so because there's other teams that can technically sneak their way in there, Titans' percent chance is slightly lower than the Packers, but both of them should be able to win this week, and both of them should be the number 1 seed. So that was, these are all of the things you need to know for the playoffs this week, for the last game of the season. I wanted to go over every single team, as well as analyze what literally needs to happen for them to get in, because I know there's a lot of stuff to keep track of. And last night I spent a decent amount of time looking at tiebreakers, looking at what actually impacts different teams. It was actually really interesting, because if I did this last week, I probably wouldn't have been able to calculate everything, because it would have taken a much longer time. There would have been a lot more factors to take into account. But it was wasn't too hard to do, and I thought it was really interesting. It was a lot of fun. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys all in the next one. Peace.